This is Justin on September 21st, Wednesday with FOMC. And so looking at the SPX, we just chopped around until just before 1 o'clock. And really just we're putting in a really sideways channel. We were coming down to like 3870s and up to 3806. This high only made it up to, no, 3886, sorry. 86, and this one only made it up to 3883. Just really choppy. There was a couple times that it set up with the 10 EMA, so you had bear candles here closing above the 10 that got trapped. Technically this one triggered in above these two, and then pulled way back here and then went higher, and then retested, and it was great. It retested right into this green line we've had on here. These lines were working yesterday. You had some more candles, like you had this one inverted hammer, and we got above that. We chopped right back into the 10, pushed higher, stayed below this line. So this one is going back to that big bear candle. This is the low of that candle. We'll switch over to the daily here. So that was this. No, I'm sorry, not the bear candle. That was this low here, where we bounced last time. I was thinking it was this one. Nope, we were way below that one. So it was this candle, and we did push above that today with the things that happened in the afternoon. And I'm talking Central time, so this is 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, this was the boring part of the day. There were opportunities to just play this a little bit bullish, play this a little bit bearish. We held on at the purple line here. Again, these are lines that were drawn in prior to today. I've not put any new lines in here, trying to figure out, like where things can move. Like we just played out with the same line. So it was great. It gave us the framework. But what was crazy is the options that expired today were extremely expensive. It's like there was a lot of volatility built into the options already because there was a big announcement coming in later in the day. So not even looking at that part of the chart because it just skews all of this. So I just thought, okay, you can see the gap up, you can see what we did, just moving sideways, chopping. And then, I didn't really want to be in something as we went into it, which I realized in hindsight, it was really strong. There was really strong resistance right up here. And most likely we're probably going to push lower. And I had just talked about how much we had rested for 3 days. And sure enough, with the announcement, we started to move lower, like a lot, and took out the low like in minutes. This is a 3-minute candle, like this massive 3-minute candle. And then I was shocked to see that, hey, we just came right down to this red line that I had drawn in here from a few days back. So I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, so there's that red line. We came down into it. Initially, we did push back on below that. And then it got wild because we retraced some, rolled back down, held this low, made some slightly higher lows, bounced really nicely. We had this indecisive candle closing above the 10. You could have taken that bullish. And then we had push higher. I didn't think we were going to get above this high. I thought we were going to hold this level. And so I was going back in bearish here, thinking, okay, I made a little bit bearish in here. And then I thought, okay, we're going to roll back down here. Just did absolute zero, thinking we'll hold the purple line. We're retesting from below. Nope, bounced right off out of there. And then we consolidated here. Really nice kind of triangle compression here. And kind of looking at this again, it's like, wow, we really actually held this line. The only bull candle closing above was this one. That was the trap all the bulls getting in here, squeeze out all the bear. Sorry, it was squeezing all the bears, and then bulls are getting in, and then trapping the bulls is when we reverse and we don't get another candle up there, and we get back below this, and we didn't actually get another close above. Inverted hammer here, high wave candle here, really small. This is inside. I think it was inside. No, ever so slightly low is lower, but it looks very much like an inside candle. Bearish engulfing, and then a breakdown, retest, and then this is a really small bull candle closing below the 10 that then triggers bearish. I was trying to get in bearish right here with this candle, and it was just too slow, and it just started to go. And then this one came in. It's like, oh, well, that's nice. That's right on the purple line. Maybe we'll bounce there. But if we don't, let me go bearish. And I was too slow again. It's like, this is, and, but it was also like, are we really going to push back down? I didn't think we'd push above this high. And then I didn't think we'd push below this low. And so I'm realizing like these are some more limiting beliefs. Like these are some limiting ideas of what the range could be on a day like this. Sure enough, we pushed back down, looked like we were going to try and hold right here, continued on lower, right into the close. What is this, a shaved bottom? The low and the close are, what is that? Very, very close. My mind's not doing the math right now. 17 cents apart. Okay, so basically a shaved bottom candle there. Obviously, I have the upper wick a little bit here. Massive S curve, bearish. Yeah, it was trapping bears down here, trapping bulls up here, and ended up going lower. Some great opportunities to go bearish in here. So I'm going to zoom back out of this, and I've got lots of things. I got to print this out and draw on this one. Here's the 39.75 call. So 39.75, way out of the money. And this was great to just, I got in some at 3 and out at 350, just kind of scalping some stuff out here. But it was really far away. I'm like, is this, what is going to happen to these options? Like, are we really going to have that kind of an explosive move? It was just, the volatility was baked into the prices, so it was ready to go. And then here is like the 37.50, like way down below. Here's how choppy this was. So a small range, choppy, and then we had this explosive move up, and then it came back down, and you could have bought again at like 2, and then it bounced back way up to that high. You know, as it had this kind of rollover here. And so, you know, just looking at these options to see like what happened, like just the size of the move here, it was really incredible, more than I expected it to be, especially this move back up. So that's kind of where I want to start with that. But then if we go look at like the 3900 call, you can see, you know, this came down to a reasonable level. I'm not exactly, so this is still too expensive for like buying with an absolute zero. You know, I'm looking for $100 risk, that kind of thing. Like it didn't work here. So the low was 4 and it ran up to like 24, you know, but like you wouldn't have necessarily been buying at 4. Why would you have had an entry there? You know, the low here was 510. I don't think you would just set it up to buy at 4. Maybe buy at 5 if it came down a little further, and stop at 4. Probably would have been stopped out. That would have been me, right? So the better idea here is wait for those candles. So here's that bear candle closing above the 10. So what's your setup there? Okay, that would have been this candle way up here. Well, you're not going to get in bullish above it, or not. Yeah, bullish. Sorry, you're not going to get in above that candle and stop below. Like that's too big of a range here. And then with the option, it, you know, has the opportunity to pull back even more, and in this case, take out the low. So it was really hard to figure out, okay, what exactly is the option I should be using? It was a little better to just like, if you think that's where the low is, like get in down here bullish, and it should have some kind of retracement. When these 3 candles were coming in here, it was like holding that low. It's like, okay, if it were to come back down to this, get in bullish, and that would have been this candle. So even that would have been buying at like 550, maybe, like just having something open to buy, you know, in these prices. So maybe even buying at like 6, and that shouldn't have stopped you out at 5. You know, stop at 5. I don't think that would have stopped you out. But then you're really just taking that quick move back up, and then just get out. So why would you stay in this from 5 to like 13, or from getting at 6, maybe 6 to 12, like let it double? That's a great move. But like, why would you hold on to that? You know, hold through a retracement, hold through some resistance with the purple line. Like it just didn't make sense for how things were moving. So it's really hard to really, you know, grab that retracement. Here's the 39.50, same kind of thing. Like this stayed a little flatter through here, had a smaller bounce back up, had another place where it retraced. Like this is getting closer. You can almost do absolute zero if you have a little bit of a larger risk unit. So could not have done this one at $1.20 here on this candle low. But at the same time, it's like I was thinking this was not going to take out the high, and then it went there. And then it's like, oh, it took out the high. Like maybe we're going to stay up here. Nope, that's when it reversed. It did that double top thing. So, the same idea when you're up here, it's like, well, how low could we go? Could we get back to the low? That's possible. Yeah, we could sell out. We could trap people up here, trap the bulls up here. We sell back down. Like the bears are getting squeezed out. They're going to come back in and push this back lower. Makes sense. So what you could do on the put side is get into a put that's a little less expensive. So like I said, getting into this one like 37.50 at like 2, and that double that to 4, or go up to 6, something like that. Like that could work. um, what I really liked was looking for some of these candles over here. So when this candle came in, bull candle closing below the 10, getting trapped right here, I was looking for getting into an option that was closer, that I could still do absolute zero. I think I was looking at the 38. No, I think it was 38.50. So what time was this? This candle was 2:15. So here, let's just look at the put for a sec here. So at 2:15, this put closed at 40. So $40. Like you literally could have spent, like half an hour, half of $100, even getting it set up at 0.5, for the option, and just gotten into 3,800. And 3,800 put, and didn't know it was going to go into the money. I think I was actually looking at 38.25. Let's see what the 38.25 is doing then. Yeah, so this one, I was trying to buy this at 1, not on this candle, on the next candle. I wanted to buy it at 1, and it started to move, and it moved to 2 almost instantly. I'm like, I'm too late on this option. This isn't going to work. And so I need to try something else. My alarm is going off again. There we go. Just like last time. So I knew it was too late. It's like, let me go out a little further. That's when I went and looked at the 38. I think I looked at the 3,800, and I'm like, okay, let me get into. I think I was looking to get into 2 of those at 0.5, and by then I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of a pullback. It's going to rest a little. Let me get into 2 of them at 0.5, and then I submitted the order, I think, on this candle. So at the 218 candle, and then it never pulled back to 0.5, put a low of 0.7. And I'm like, okay, well, let me get into one of them at 1 instead. And so I felt like I was chasing, because then, when it didn't fill in this candle, then it started to move again on this candle, and it ran right past 1 and got up, above 1 pretty quickly. And it's like, okay, I missed it. I missed 2 really good places to short on this as this candle's going, and as this candle's going, because it just didn't retrace anymore on this candle, or didn't rest it longer. So it's like this one went, and then this one went. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm chasing. Like I definitely could have gone out to another put, um, but I was trying to buy at 0.5, didn't get filled, or it went too fast. Tried to get filled at 1, that started to move. So it's just like, I need to get out ahead of that and think, okay, I'm already seeing it bearish here. That triggered. Let me just get in and see if I can mitigate that. Right, get in absolute zero with something else. Just let that work. So I should have just, oops, too far on this put. I should have just bought, just have a limit buy at 1, because I've already gone further out, and not try and get into 2, which would have been great to have 2 of these. But yeah, or another option in between. I didn't really think I had time to go look for other options in between, but let's see. So at 2:15, let's see, this didn't come back to 1. This came back to 120. So even the 38.10 didn't come back enough. It's possible on the 2:18 time, that 3 minutes, it's possible I could have gotten a fill at 1 on this option. But yeah, man, it's just seeing these opportunities where it was so inexpensive here, and then it popped. If I had gotten into one of these where it was making those highs, um, I probably would have been getting out here, and then been like, should I get back in, and second guess myself, and then missed it there as well. But to see like this 10 EMA setup right here, so strong, such a good place, and then to start to work instantly. It's like, okay, there's some room on this. The bigger shape of this that I was noticing is you kind of, and there's a couple ways you can draw this. You can draw this obviously like a double top, and then that's like a neckline retest. You can do it that way, or you can add another thing over here like a shoulder, and then this is a head, like a double head, and a shoulder, and then it's more of a neckline like here, where it kind of dipped a little bit below, and then that's running, and then you know your kind of measured move is like this, so down to like here, so that's in line with kind of where the low, yeah, kind of where that low is, something like that. So that makes sense for a measured move, but for it to continue to push on lower, I mean, yeah, we were we had rested. We had rested really, and if you include all of this in the rest, let me zoom back out of this. So all of this, I'm going to highlight all of this was resting. Really, actually, I guess you can include that initial move. So let me draw again. Just thinking out loud. So if you consider all of that was a bad straight line. Okay, well, let's try this again. So if all of this, I'm trying to move the mouse nice and slow. So if all of that is the top of the channel, and then I'm going to call the green line the bottom of the channel, but give it a little bit of room here and here. So if all of that is the channel, we broke it at the end of the day. But this is the like this is, you know, so this is 0, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and then definitely like a 0.5. You know, so 3.5 days of rest, and now we just broke. Like, look out, we're already going down. We just rested for 3.5 days. We had a big announcement. Like, we should go there if we have any sort of retracement back up into this channel at all. Like, get ready to shorten here, short as high as you can, but look for some sort of an S curve. That's my idea right now. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, we had an amazing sell off here. But if you think about like just the framework of these 3 days, like 3.5 days, like we put some really good lines on the chart here. So like if this is our channel and it lines up, like it looks, that's our channel. You know, we just didn't know it was a bigger channel until now we're getting the break of it. We this is crazy. Look at that daily. This move today where we ended up, we just closed this gap. So we did finally get back. So the close on this candle was 37.90.38, but we closed at 37.89.93. So we actually closed to the close of the, not even just the wick, but we closed this gap. I just was talking about this, I think, on yesterday's video, where I said like that's still an open gap. Sure enough, we just closed it. So just keep in mind, we are back down here near some of these wicks. Some buying came in, but the strength of this and announcement, things like that, like we don't have to retrace very much. We should be going lower. And so just be ready to make the bear money. Click the link in the description if you don't know how to do that, and let's figure it out together. So because this is a really strong move. I was hoping for a retracement back up to like the 100. Like, you know, we pushed right past that. I thought, hey, you know, if we could get some kind of movement up, but this just looks bad. Closing this gap way down here. If we gap down, we should fade back up a little, but then like we're just going to look like some of these wicks, and then we probably should take that out again and push lower, kind of like this. You know, we this is one of those areas where it was like buying up here, and then we gap down and push lower, and you know, you got to look back at the bigger picture, all this stuff. Like, what else, if you know we get down here, what else is there? Like, there's nothing lower till way back over here, and that's not even COVID lows. That's way over here. Like that's, oops. This thing has far to go. If we even were to contend with this, it's really far to go. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to, you know, speak to fire and brimstone, but like we did not hold this at all today. We broke down. We broke down 3 days of rest. Should continue. All the patterns are saying, you know, we got a bigger, you know, head and shoulders going on here. We got even bigger patterns out over here. Like we're going down. Like, yes, there can be some support here. We could bounce. How high could we bounce? Short it. As high as we get, short it. That's what this looks like to me. So, and then hold on to your puts longer than you think. And that's what I should have done today with, how this moved. Like get into something, just short as high as you can. Like just take that as the rule and then just hang on to it. And yeah, there's some massive gains to be made. Like look at this. You literally could have bought this, even just you don't know if it's going to move. Just buy it for 0.5 and it made it to 20. That's a 40x. I just mentioned about like a 10x. So that's a 40x to do that. Like I'm not suggesting holding to the very end of the day. So you're probably out at like made it up to here. Probably get out at like 15, maybe. Barely got to 15. Maybe at these lows. So probably 12. Buy at 0.5, get out at 12. I'll take that. I'll take that every day if I can. That's amazing. So yeah, make sure you understand how the charts are moving, do your own analysis, do your own assessment. Like I said, click the link and learn more, get better at the charting. Because it was just playing with the chart. It was just, hey, what could be setting up here? Okay, take something bullish here, try and take something else bullish here. One of those, take something bearish over here. And then I got in thinking it was going to go bearish and lost on that one. So still up for the day. It was great. And then just missed some great setups over here. 10 EMA setups, like just missed it. It was just slow. And so I got to practice those some more and get into those because there was some really great profit to be had here. Even if I just held like 2 candles, like a couple of candles down here, like it would have been great. So, that's why I got to keep going out. It's like, okay, absolute zero. Let me just get into the next option a little further out, a little further out. I missed it. It's moving without me. And, there's still room on this stuff. And it's just an R. It's just a risk unit or less than a risk unit when it's absolute zero. So that's what I got. I really hope this helps. This was an amazing day to understand, the differences of how the market can move, this portion of the day and then this portion of the day. And if it's something that this is just overwhelming, don't trade it. Like just sit out of it. Like I didn't trade through here. I was not trading during this time. But when I saw this retracing and I was in one of our trading rooms and someone's like, oh yeah, I just did this. And I'm like, oh, I should short some of this when it bounces. And I shorted it and it was great. That was which one was that? That was the 37.25. And it was 2 hours and 6 minutes. So that was really cool. I don't think I looked at that was 37.25. Yeah, okay. So that was, I bought at 1. So it had this move and then it retraced. I'm like, oh, I can get this for absolute zero. So I bought at 1 and I flipped it out at 3. And so that was, $100 risk, 1 contract, and it made it up to 3, and that was 2 hours. So that worked today. And it's like, it's amazing when it's that easy. So that was 6 minutes because I was in, I think, I was in at 108 and I was out at 114. I remember it was 6 minutes. So yeah, 108 to 114. It was great. And I'm really glad I didn't try and hold longer because it held this low and it didn't push lower. I'm like, I'm just gonna get out because that's 2 hours. I just made 2 hours in minutes. Like I will take that. And then I was looking to get in and it's like, okay, this one came back down. Let me see if I can short something a little higher. That's why I'm like, let me see what I can do to short something here. This looked like it was a great place. It retested back 50%. Oh, this is what I did do too. I drew fib on here. I'm like, okay, and I'm not going to get the exact levels here, but I drew from basically that open to this open. And then I think I didn't save my fib template. Nope, changed my fibs. Let me turn that one, let me turn this one. 2, and then big numbers. 5, and then we'll just do the same intraday colors for middle. There you go. So then like this wick was way up here, close to that, but I'm like, okay, I probably don't have something lined up exactly right. That's way up there. But I saw that this, I'm drawing this over here, but it's like, oh, that was a really good retracement. Like a 382, like even if I drew this down to here, you can see that's a pretty good retracement. The 382 retracement here. And then, if we just do basically the high of this move to the low of the move, that kind of thing. Like, okay, maybe the 618, we'll push back up to that and then we'll roll over. Well, no, it bounced basically off the 50% mark, going back up then, pushed higher. And then, yeah, then the fib didn't really work as well as I was thinking. I'm like, it hasn't moved down here in a bit, so what kind of framework could I give it? And so, but then it's like we had the same price line up here, and then this bear candle, and then we moved down to the 382 down, and then back up to the green line. And I've got too many lines on here now. But I start to see things line up, and it's like I will trade my lines when I see them working, and then take less trades if they stop working. Um, yeah, that's what I got. All right, hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.